I'm Joyce Hornady. You might say accuracy is my business. I make bullets.
10 bullets through one hole was the philosophy of Joyce Hornady, the company's founder. This great idea of accuracy and perfection has continued from the first bullet made more than 60 years ago right through today. Like so many successful companies, Hornady Manufacturing was born out of one man's vision of a better product for his own use. Joyce Hornady was an avid shooter and needed a steady supply of good, accurate bullets. While commercially available bullets were usable, Joyce felt that better bullets could be made. Hornady, the son of a pastor, was named for a prominent Methodist bishop, Bishop Joyce, who oversaw church affairs in Colorado and western Nebraska. Joyce grew up learning to shoot and hunt, a lifelong passion that would forever change the shooting industry. During World War II, Joyce had taken a job as a marksmanship instructor in a guard training unit at the Cornhusker Army ammunition plant. He and his family moved to Grand Island from Lincoln, Nebraska. Following the war, Joyce and his family stayed in Grand Island and opened a small sporting goods retail store that sold everything from basketballs to hunting and shooting products. There was no doubt, however, that his true love was shooting and hunting. In the first years following the war, shooters and hunters used some of the vast surplus of military ammunition for their sport shooting. This surplus ammunition, however, did not offer the accuracy or performance needed for target shooting, big game, or varmint hunting. Joyce realized the need for better bullets, and he responded to it. Hornady and his original partner, Vernon Spear of Lincoln, Nebraska, built a machine that converted Spence .22 rimfire cases into bullet jackets, and then into bullets. Advertised in the American Rifleman magazine, these bullets sold well all over the country. Ultimately, the business relationship between Hornady and Spear faltered and resulted in two independent companies. Vernon Spear had already moved his portion of the business to Lewiston, Idaho, the current location of Spear Bullets. Using a surplus bullet assembly press in a rented garage on 4th Street in Grand Island, Nebraska, Joyce Hornady began to produce his own .30 caliber bullet. From the initial production in 1949, this .30 caliber bullet, 30 caliber 150 grain Spire point, remains one of our most popular bullets to this day. The first year of business, Hornady bullets' total sales were $10,000, a figure that increased threefold the next year. The staff grew to 4, and business indicators were positive. Hornady added equipment, confident that more growth lay ahead. The Korean War and the shortages it entailed were not anticipated, but rather than let the company wither, Hornady earned contracts to produce a variety of products not associated with bullets, aluminum hearts for bracelets, and condenser cans for the government. After the war, the can material and the technology developed to produce them was utilized to make ultra-thin copper jackets for varmint bullets. In 1958, growth led the company to move to our present location on the west edge of Grand Island, Nebraska. The facility featured an 8,000 square foot plant and in 1960 added a 200-yard underground testing facility that allowed bullets to be tested in an environment unaffected by weather. This was a welcome addition, since Joyce had previously tested each individual lot of bullets by driving to the Grand Island Rifle Range winter and summer, rain or shine, to shoot the bullets to ensure that they met his standards for accuracy. In addition, the number of full-time employees increased to 40. Market diversity is a hallmark of Hornady Manufacturing Company. Our first venture into a shooting product other than bullets was in 1964 when Joyce started Frontier Ammunition, a line of remanufactured ammunition that initially utilized surplus military brass. During the Vietnam War, surplus military brass sources were scarce, and it was at this point that Hornady began to use newly manufactured cartridge cases. The ammunition business continued to grow and has matured into our very successful line of Hornady ammunition, comprised of Custom, Match, Varmint Express, Lever Revolution, Dangerous Game Series, Superformance, Critical Defense, Precision Hunter, Hornady Black, Critical Duty, and TAP premium law enforcement and military ammunition. In 1971, Hornady acquired Pacific Tool Company and diversified into the reloading tool market. The Pacific operations were moved from Lincoln, Nebraska to the newly built reloading tool facility of the Hornady manufacturing plant in 1972. Under Hornady leadership, the Pacific product line was reinvigorated and introduced the Model 105 shot shell press. The addition of Pacific Tool Company and its existing products, as well as new product development, fueled the company's growth. Through the 1970s, Hornady continued to prosper and grow. New bullet designs and ammunition were added to the line, as well as different styles of reloading equipment. In the late 70s, Hornady acquired the West Coast Shot Company of Reno, Nevada, and renamed it Hornady Magnum Shot. It became an independent company in the early 1990s when it was sold back to its original management. Just as quality had always been highly prized within the company, so too was innovation. It took new form in the early 1960s with the first major change of bullet design the company had undertaken. While the bullet catalog ranged from .22 caliber to .45 caliber, all spire points retained the traditional conical point shape of the tangent ogive. Originally developed by U.S. Army ballisticians, the Hornady Ballistics Lab supported experimentation that led to the adaptation of the aerodynamically efficient secant ogive that has now become a signature profile of Hornady bullets and is used almost exclusively across the entire Hornady bullet line. In January 1981, along with engineer Edward Heers and customer service manager Jim Garber, Joyce Hornady was killed when the company plane they were flying crashed en route to the SHOT Show in New Orleans. The linchpin of the company was suddenly gone. The company's founder, visionary, spokesman, leader, and strategist was tragically killed. The family needed to regroup, and so it did. Steve Hornady became president, and sister Margaret Hornady David and her husband Don became vice president and chief engineer, respectively. At that time, the interlock feature, the most recent bullet improvement, was only 4 years old. Since then, the line has grown to include XTP pistol bullets, as well as polymer-tipped rifle and muzzleloader bullets, such as the VMAX, SST, Interbond, FTX, GMX, and our latest innovations, ELDX and ELD Match bullets. It wasn't until 1983 that Hornady Bullets, Frontier Ammunition, and Pacific Reloading Tools were merged into one corporation. To signify the complete merger, Frontier Ammunition became Hornady Custom Ammunition, and Pacific Reloading Tools became Hornady Reloading Tools. The ammunition line was beginning to progress, and the ability to feed the plant with outsourced component cartridge cases became increasingly difficult. Inevitably, these sourcing issues led to the decision in 1984 to start making cartridge cases in-house. From very humble beginnings of only a select handful of products, we now produce a comprehensive line of cartridge cases that run the gamut from pistol brass up to the very largest dangerous game offerings that we load in our factory ammunition and sell as component products for reloaders. Our brass is all built to the tightest tolerances in the industry and is a preferred component product for match shooters and hunters alike. It was in the late 1990s that the Hornady reputation for industry-leading ammunition development and innovation really emerged. As an independent component manufacturer, not simply an assembler of ammunition, we trained ourselves and built and adapted machinery to help in all facets of product development and manufacturing. One of the first advents was a solo project with the introduction of light and heavy Magnum loads. Working with partners in the propellant manufacturing industry, Hornady developed loads for established cartridges with technologically advanced and highly progressive powders that would provide increased velocity without increasing pressures. Following this development came requests and partnerships with various gun manufacturers to introduce new chamberings that would maximize performance from their firearms. One of these developments, introduced in 2002, began as a pet project of Hornady ballistician Dave Emery. It was a complete departure from anything the company had ever done before, a rimfire cartridge. Now a staple of the shooting industry, the 17 Hornady Magnum Rimfire, or HMR, is the only cartridge to wear the Hornady name in its title and is a favorite cartridge of millions of shooters throughout the world. In addition to these proprietary projects, Hornady has developed, brought back to prominence, and/or introduced numerous cartridges to the Sporting Arms and Ammunition Manufacturers Institute for adaptation and standardization within the firearm and ammunition industry. Perhaps the most popular of these introductions is the 6.5 Creedmoor that began life following a discussion between Dave Emery and former Marine Corps shooter and then manager of Creedmoor Sports, Dennis DeMille. The 6.5 Creedmoor grew from a niche match shooter's cartridge to an overnight success that only took 10 years and is now recognized as one of the most popular cartridges in the shooting industry. In the year 2000, Hornady purchased 3D Ammunition of Doniphan, Nebraska, which specialized in loading remanufactured ammunition. Over time, 3D, with its people and equipment, was incorporated into the Hornady plant in Grand Island. This acquisition helped to boost ammunition production capabilities going into the new century. In 2006, Jason Hornady, Steve Hornady's son and third generation of the family, joined the company after working for over 15 years as an independent sales rep and sales manager in the shooting and hunting industry. His enthusiasm for hunting and shooting, combined with his extensive industry experience, made him a natural fit to lead the company's efforts as director of sales. And in 2009, he became vice president of sales and marketing for the company. Business grew rapidly in the first 2 decades of the new century and prompted the company to undergo several facilities projects to add extra floor space in order to keep up with consumer demand. The first project was initiated in 2 waves that ultimately added 58,000 square feet of additional manufacturing, distribution, and office space to the headquarters location. Additionally, the company purchased a 320-acre property 6 miles west of Hornady headquarters at the Platte River Industrial Park in 2010 that would provide a rural location for powder storage magazines and any further expansion projects. As the automotive industry struggled in the recession of the first decade of the 2000s, Hornady was able to purchase a 110,000 square foot production and storage facility from Leon Plastics in 2011. This facility would become the new home to Hornady reloading tools and accessories manufacturing and distribution, enabling the company to double the number of CNC machines and quadruple its tool manufacturing space. In 2013, Hornady added a completely new division and incorporated security products into the company portfolio. The initial product entry was centered around a personal handgun safe that used RFID technology in the locking mechanism. Dubbed the Rapid Safe, this new product began what would become a completely new assortment of products for Hornady. As the security product line grew, Hornady purchased the SnapSafe company in 2015 and now offers a complete array of innovative modular safes, lock boxes, and safe accessories under the Hornady Security and SnapSafe brands. Business continued to increase, necessitating a major expansion that opened in October 2018 at the Platte River Industrial Park, 6 miles west of the Hornady Grand Island headquarters. The Hornady West facility project added 150,000 square feet of floor space and houses all ammunition manufacturing, testing, packaging, and distribution operations in a rural location. This location also accommodates enhanced research and development capabilities and allows Hornady space to grow in the future. Today, Hornady Manufacturing has over 500 employees, occupies over 400,000 square feet of space, and in one day, on one press, is capable of producing more bullets than the company's entire first-year production. Our market includes the entire United States, as well as international distributors and customers in locations throughout the world. We continue to be one of the largest independent producers of bullets in the world. We sell bullets as separate components, loaded in Hornady ammunition, and also to other ammunition companies to be loaded in their premium-grade ammo. Our employees exhibit our products at trade shows and shooting matches across the country, and our product lines are represented to dealers and distributors by over 70 independent sales representatives. Hornady Manufacturing has been the recipient of many industry awards and is also given generously within the community of Grand Island, where we make our home. Organizations supported include the United Way, the Platte River Charity Shoot, the Heartland Public Shooting Park, the Central Plains chapter of the American Red Cross, Stir Museum, and the list goes on. Hornady was the leading founder of the Hunting and Shooting Sports Heritage Fund, and we support or serve on the boards of the Congressional Sportsmen's Foundation, National Shooting Sports Foundation, Honored American Veterans Afield, the Sporting Arms and Ammunition Manufacturers Institute, the National Rifle Association, and many others. As a member of the shooting and hunting sports industry, Hornady realizes the need to give back to the sports that keep us in business and maintain our heritage. The stature of Hornady Manufacturing Company within its industry has never been higher. Combine the best customer base with the best employees. Throw in the family management team running this business. It's hard not to be successful. Quality, continuous improvement, innovation, responsiveness. Looking to the future, it appears that the Hornady heritage and the Hornady vision will continue to shine brightly.
Our kind of accuracy isn't something easily come by. It isn't found anywhere in the world in its pure state, and you cannot buy it by the pound. And even when you have it, it can easily slip away. We have to build it into our bullets carefully, a 10,000th of an inch and a 1/10 of a grain at a time. No, accuracy just doesn't happen. You have to make it happen with tools, with men, with materials, with machines, with bullets, and with rifles.